Welcome back to the Relentless Warrior Podcast. I know I say it every time, but I'm so excited for our guest this evening. We have with us, running for Congress here in Texas, Raymond Hamden. This guy is local born, local bred, true to the community, true to conservative values. You guys are going to love the insights that he brings to the table, and I, for one, am really excited for what he brings to the political landscape here in Salado, Bell County, and the surrounding areas. So sit back, get comfortable. This is the Relentless Warrior Podcast.
I don't even know where you live.
I live in Temple.
Okay,
now.
cool.
Yeah,
so I work for the city of Temple now.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. I got out of education and I worked for the city of Temple, and it was the greatest move I ever made.
Education is so broken.
Bro. Yeah.
It is the biggest. I'm sure there's probably bigger jokes, but it's a huge joke.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of red tape, it's disheartening.
Yep.
And I used to joke with some of the police officers, and it's really not a funny joke. It's like, man, I'm dealing with them now. Y'all are going to end up dealing with them
Straight up
later.
Absolutely.
There's no accountability.
None.
It's feelings or facts.
Mm-hmm.
My kid never, man, my first year teaching, I'll never forget it. These guys, I was coaching too.
Uh-huh.
And we'd have the kids run around the gym, the gym. It was a detached.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. Detached gym.
Yeah. I mean, locker room, gym, whatever you want to call it. And these two kids got into a little scuffle. This is middle school.
Uh-huh.
So we called the parents in, and this lady, it was so funny, man. She goes, "My son would never do that." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "I didn't raise him to be no punk, though.
Mm-hmm.
He won't take." And I was like, "Wait a second, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
You just said he would never do that, but
then you told him to do it.
him not to be a punk."
Yeah, right.
And her husband goes, "You did just say that." So I was like, "Man, end the conversation."
That's it. It's like that.
But yeah.
Yep. So where did you teach?
Man, I taught Killeen ISD. So
Awesome.
I started at the middle school level and then ended. And I was kind of in and out. It just kind of depended. So when I graduated from SAM, so I grew up in the Killeen Harker Heights area.
Okay. Cool.
K through 12 there.
Yep.
Went off to Sam Houston.
Cool.
Came back home. I had a degree in kinesiology, minored in business, only because I don't know if I'd have graduated. It's funny because kinesiology isn't an easy. I mean, you got
not at all.
anatomy, physiology, but I just loved it.
That's cool.
So there's no way. I don't think I would have graduated with any other degree because I just wasn't interested in it.
Right. I got you.
So I moved back home. I had the ultimatum of either get a job or start paying rent.
Straight up. I think people are ready for people to just be honest and fresh about who they are and what they believe, and not try to sugarcoat it. And
every aspect of life,
across the board, man.
Every profession, yes.
Yeah, and so that's why I think when I heard you were running, I was like, heck yeah, because I've heard you talk, and then you good talking about your businesses and stuff?
Yeah.
Or not? Like,
no, I'm solid.
Okay, so I met you I think right after Harry's here in Salado opened. Right, you guys opened around Christmas time, am I right, or am I making that up?
December 1st, 2022. That's 22.
That's right. So I think I met you like December 3rd. That and it was at Harry's, and so,
dude, I think it was the first.
It might have been.
What? You came in the first night.
I did,
but then you came in like 2 days later to do some work.
Yep, I did. You're right, exactly right. I did. Wow, that's too crazy that you remember that, but I did. I set up and I was like, I could work right here. This is amazing. And so I've heard you talk, and I was like, this is fantastic. Like, just that you're running, because I had a general idea, and then I saw some of the stuff you were saying on social media and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And so I just think people just be real. Like, there are things, there are things I believe and things I will say that are absolutely, like, they're going to rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But then they're going to at least know where they stand with me, and we can relate from that, and that's exciting.
And there's a way to say things that you don't have. That's the other thing. I mean, this world has taught me so much, because we see politics from the outside in.
Yeah.
And even if you're involved, so I'd been involved in a lot of the countywide race. Like, I've just tried to help people and use whatever influence I may have as far as growing up in the area. Because growing up in Killeen, dude, it's a melting pot.
Absolutely.
So there's every race, every religion. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic status. There's every one of those too.
That's right.
And we all got along.
Yeah.
And then we knew we were different. but we didn't care.
Yeah.
The cool part is, like, when you become really good friends, then you start talking trash to one another about your
100%.
differences, and it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always funny because if somebody new comes in and they try to joke, like, "Hey, man, like, we're glad you're here, but you're not allowed to say something like that."
You can't say that yet.
Yeah, you got to earn your keep,
Yeah,
bro.
well,
Like, you got to be part of the family.
That's
first.
right. You got to
But-
put in your time a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, I know I jumped a little bit.
No,
but
it's great.
you're,
It's great.
You're right though. I mean, we are so ready for just everyday regular people.
Yeah.
And then society, what's happened is society's normalized that pastors and politicians have to be these perfect people.
Which is crazy.
Perfection, we already talked about that. It's unattainable.
Right.
We're not going to be perfect.
Yep.
Let us just be.
Yeah.
And maybe let's walk with a little bit of grace and realize that we're going to stumble at times.
Absolutely right. And grace for each other and humility from within.
Yes.
Those are the two things that yes, expecting our politicians, expecting, like you said, our pastors, expecting people to be perfect, even within the confines of whatever role their day job is or they're serving. To expect them to be perfect is unrealistic. And then we have this, the attention span of like a 3-year-old, where one mistake, we blow that remarkably out of proportion, and it's just this little soundbite world.
And you can never recover from that one mistake.
Exactly right.
And it's like, wait a second. We can stop bringing it up. We can recover.
Yeah, right. It happened, and
I messed up.
And I learned from it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we're ready for regular people. I think, President Trump proved that
I agree.
in 2016.
Yeah.
So we were ready in 2020 with the stolen election.
Agreed. I agree with you, man.
Here's the other thing, though, it was the stolen election. It was such a blessing. And it sucked.
Yeah.
Because the last 4 years,
right.
We'll use a political term. Really sucked.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the
it's
best.
just a regular, everyday term, man.
That's
I don't
the
have
best
a fancy
shine
term
you can
for
put
that.
on that, but they did.
We had a wide open border where Venezuela opened up prisons and insane asylums.
Yep.
Man, just criminal. It doesn't matter. Like, so many different type of people who hate the United States.
Yep.
Who hate our God, the God we serve.
Yep.
Who hate everything that we stand for. Came in.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, our economy just went to crap.
Absolutely.
Right? Nobody was running it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's free.
Oh, here, you want some free money? Nobody's paying for it.
That's it.
It's like, and we're like, wait a second, man. I don't want to pay taxes for that.
Yeah, right.
For illegal immigrants and for all the other BS that we're spending it on.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to get off on a tangent here.
That's not a tangent. You're speaking my language, man.
But ideally, I mean, it was a blessing that we went through it. I always quote the movie Hitch.
Okay.
It's super educational. I know.
Okay.
You can't know where you're going until you know where you've been.
Yeah.
So we had to have 4 years of complete crap to be like, wait a second.
I can get down with that.
We can't do that again. Our country is being destroyed. Everything that our forefathers had fought and died for and worked hard for, like, man, it's gone. We're about to lose it.
Agreed. Yeah.
And we're seeing it now. I mean, the repercussions of even with the ICE. Dude, when we grew up, you respected your elders. You couldn't even go into the airport. I remember I had a little toy plastic gun.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And I remember, and it wasn't one of the cap guns. It may have shot out the little plastic balls or something. Man, I was a kid. We were at the Austin airport, and I jumped around a corner to like the TSA guys.
Yeah, right.
And my mom yanked me up and was like, you can't do. And I was like, I was just joking. Like, what are you?
Just playing,
just a little kid.
Yeah, right.
And she explained to me, we were taught about that.
Yeah.
Just social etiquette.
Yeah.
But also to respect law enforcement.
Absolutely.
This is completely nuts. Here's one thing I haven't seen though, because we see the left go crazy about, well, they're not doing anything wrong. Well, man, if I'm going 10 miles per hour over and I get pulled over, whose fault is it? The officers or mine?
Exactly right.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was my fault.
Right.
But we get into this playground, if you will, of what are we doing? Like, they haven't hurt anybody. Well, what about the people who have been hurt?
Absolutely.
What about the women and children who were beaten, raped, and murdered? And this is the thing, James. If you want them here that badly, why didn't you invite them to live with you?
Exactly right.
When they needed, let me try to find a political way to say this. when they needed a release, why didn't you let them rape you?
That's right.
Or your daughter, or You want them here so bad.
Man,
isn't it crazy though?
It blows my mind. And I made a comparison the other day to he's a friend of mine, and he grew up in Europe, and he's just the most backward thinking individual I know politically, and not politically. We get along great. We've had seasons where we couldn't speak because he's just so eat up with the leftist ideology, right?
Just that woke.
Yeah. and buy a narrative off the sound bites and all of this other stuff. And so I made the comparison to him last week. The amount of play that the fatality in Minnesota is getting compared to the amount of coverage and the narrative that the young lady on the train who was murdered for being white, murdered because she had blonde hair. The amount of the narrative of those two stories is so backward from, like what you said, what we grew up in, where the story, if the same situation that happened in Minnesota had happened in even the 90s, it would have been like, you know what? That's a tragedy. It's sad that she made those choices to put herself in that situation. But hey, you don't try to hit law enforcement officers with a car.
Yeah.
Versus what the story would have been. Hey, this woman, she bled out in a number of seconds because she had blonde hair and was a white lady sitting on a subway.
Dude, that to this day, when I see her picture, I just get enraged.
I agree.
So, like, I guess the other question that how do you value one life? Like, how is one life valued more than the other? So Charlie Kirk, it was a coincidence that I wore this. It wasn't like I didn't know we were bringing him up.
Yeah.
But
absolutely,
he gets murdered for just speaking.
That's it.
Having a friendly conversation, and maybe you didn't agree with it all.
Right.
But that didn't mean he hated you. He just wanted to visit. So he gets assassinated.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Right.
Right? Because he hurt our feelings.
Yep.
But then some lady tries to hit, whether she tried to or not.
Right.
The vehicle was in drive and it was going forward.
Right.
It's kind of hard to argue that point.
Exactly
right.
And
I mean, stop, put it in park. If you're confused, figure out what's going on first. Put the thing in park.
Yep. Well, and she was given a lawful order multiple times to get out of the car.
Yes.
And she impeded the officer's vehicle. She's given a lawful order multiple times. And people who know me know I'm not one for a lot of superfluous rules. Like, someone can put it on a sign, and so my wife is probably gonna she'll elbow me for saying this. If you put it on a sign, my wife most of the time will comply, right? Not me, right? But at the same time, I understood this is law enforcement. They're going in, they're doing a dangerous job. They don't know if their life is going to be in danger in the next 10 minutes, and to intentionally impede that and escalate that situation. It's absolutely tragic that the lady died. But 2 days later, the other angle comes out, and that guy got clipped hard and had, internal bleeding and all of these things. And it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
He had internal bleeding unless you're a liberal.
Right.
And that news came from Fox.
Exactly.
And then he did not. It's a lie.
Then it's a lie.
Yeah,
right. And so that's the thing, is that it's like, well, we just discredit, not we, the collective, the leftist, say, if we don't agree with you, it's not true, right? If it doesn't fit the narrative of our ideology, then it must be not true. And it's such a hypocrisy, in my opinion, because if you hear the progressives, they say, oh, we just want meaningful dialogue. Unless your logic beats ours, then we'll shoot you. And that's really what I think Charlie Kirk was guilty of.
By the way, we're going to shoot you with the same guns we don't think that anybody should have.
Exactly right. I shouldn't be able to buy this gun, but this is okay because I get to take out one of the bad guys. And
it's crazy, man.
It blows my mind the way that and don't get me wrong. I think that there are people on both sides of the political spectrum who just become fanatical and will discredit any type of just meaningful conversation, right? And we've got to find, like you said, normal people sitting around a beer, sitting around a cup of coffee, sitting around and just having conversation. And we don't have to agree. There was a time that made us stronger. when we didn't agree and we talked it out, and your ideas made me evaluate mine, and my ideas made you evaluate yours, and probably both of us became a little bit more convicted in our values and maybe changed our minds a little bit.
Yeah.
And we were willing to do that. We were willing to do that if we were persuaded, if someone was like, oh, I hadn't thought about it that
or
way.
at least you know where you each stand.
Yeah,
and you have a
right.
common respect of, okay, we're not going to see eye to eye, but
Right.
at least I get it. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not a complete lunatic because they feel that because of their experience. But ideally, right is right, wrong is wrong. Doesn't matter how you feel about
Singing my song, brother.
Yeah.
There is such a thing, and this is where people get. There is absolutely such a thing as absolute truth. There is absolute truth exists. There are things that are absolutely right, and there are things that are absolutely wrong.
it. Yeah.
And regardless of, and man, we can take that right there and go anywhere you want to go, whether it's the whole trans debate and dudes and girls sports, whether and mutilate 12-year-olds because they have 10 minutes where they're like, I think I'm a girl. All right, let's just cut that thing off and you can be a girl.
See,
What are we talking
We're
about?
living in a time of insanity.
Agreed.
It's just complete chaos.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. If you gave your son a pack of cigarettes in elementary school and was just, yeah, go smoke, do what you want, CPS would be more
Without question.
But if you wanted your son or daughter to change sexes, that's okay.
And we're
'Cause
happy for you.
They just feel it.
And if you can't afford it, we'll help you pay for it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's free money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it just
And
it
it's
blows my mind. And so these are the types of things that we've seen unfolding, and it's like, yeah, the United States is in a relatively tenuous spot.
Yep.
And so it's exciting when common sense people are like, you know what, I'm gonna get involved in this and try to help it. But I'm like, the level of lunacy that we've allowed to take root, who did we elect? Not we. New York City. What are we talking about? Like,
So-
I'm like, holy smoke.
That's one of the biggest. When I speak, whenever I go out somewhere, it's that's it. We have an entire generation
Mhm.
who thinks socialism's the answer. Part of that stems from affordability.
Sure.
It's tough right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't deny that.
Absolutely.
But the other part, I really feel like, without sugarcoating, we as a party
Mhm.
aren't doing what we need to do. You had one man going to reach the 18 to 30-year-olds,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because of that, President Trump won.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons.
Yep.
He had that voter pool that just took him over the top.
Right.
So we're reaching those people, but then we get them to a point where it's like, oh, hey, you're 18. We're glad you believe in our Republican values. Really, the Republican values are Christian values.
Exactly right.
It's biblical truth.
Without
And
question.
let me just stay focused for a second, and then we can jump into that too.
Okay.
But ideally, we're reaching these kids.
Yeah.
The 18. I'm 43. I think I can call
Okay.
an 18-year-old kid. Maybe not.
Absolutely, you
Who
can.
knows?
You're good.
I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't. We're reaching these young.
Yeah.
Our peers. I tell people I'm 25.
There you go. Well, you look it, so
But,
it's fine.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I feel it until I jumped out of the bed of the truck the other day. I was like, yeah, these knees.
Yeah, I'm
are
43.
Not, yeah, wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But we're reaching these kids, and then it's like, oh, by the way, go vote for this person who's almost 70 years older than you.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not. What's the crazy thing is, so people will hear one of us say that,
Yeah.
and then automatic feelings get involved. You're ageist. No, what I love is when I talk to other people who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and like we don't understand why people our age continue to run for office.
Without question.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What do you know that the 18-year-olds are going through?
That's right.
I mean, even
It's a
at our
completely
age,
different
there's a little
experience.
bit, but we're closer to that.
Right.
Or we have kids this age who we see what the struggles that they're facing and the challenges that they're going to have to overcome.
Right.
Like, you take your knowledge and wisdom, pass it down to the next generation,
And
mentor somebody. Dude, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have a mentor.
sure.
Multiple mentors,
Sure.
actually.
Yeah.
One specifically that would call and be like, hey, you're being a dumbass.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that's kind of harsh, man. Like,
What do you mean? Yeah, I
gonna,
didn't think
are you
like-
going to build me up after this?
Yeah, right.
And
Sandwich.
sometimes he did, and sometimes he didn't.
Yeah.
But, that's
Yeah.
what we need. We need somebody that says, hey, I get it. I get why you think that way, but like, let's really break this down.
Yeah.
Here are the experiences I had
Right.
that are similar to yours. Here's how I overcame.
Right.
So mentorship, we're lacking that.
Without question.
So we can reach these kids, but what are we doing to keep them engaged?
Yeah.
What are we doing to continue to build that solid foundation so we have a sturdy structure?
Yeah.
And we're not bridging that gap.
No, not at all. And it blows my mind because for me, I'm a huge fan of term limits, and we have politicians who, while they were in office in their prime, did amazing things, and I always liken it to I'm, and maybe people will say I'm ageist. I'm like, look, when I'm too old, when I can't drive, take my license away. Like when I can't operate my truck safely on the highway, I probably owe it to the people also on the highway to not operate my truck on the highway and find a different way or whatever. And so why would that not be the same, only multiplied by 100 for the people who are running our country and making those decisions? Like you said, impart the knowledge that they have and allow those up and coming younger generations to bring their experiences
and their energy,
right?
Yeah,
which our 85-year-olds don't have. Combine those two so we can take the next step forward.
And I'm not picking on our current, because our current congressman, he's up there. This is not a shot at him.
No, across the board. This
is a very generalized, like you said, across the board. When you have Mitch McConnell, who can't take more than 3 steps.
Right.
When he's not holding on to, I don't know if the guy was a security guard, whoever that guy was, before he falls. Yeah. That's a problem.
It's a problem.
When we have a president who other countries' leaders are laughing at because he has no idea where he's going.
That's right.
They put him in the back. Dude, we're the U.S.
Yeah, right.
We fund the world, basically.
Without question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, our world leader, or our nation's leader shouldn't be in the back.
No way.
But we did that.
Yep, right.
I heard this quote: "We get the government we allow."
Oh wow!
So it's based off of, okay, if we're not working towards, so I won't win the race I'm running. Mm-hmm. We will as a community.
Right. Yeah.
If we get out and do something, this isn't a Raymond.
Right.
It's not a me. This is a we. Yeah. If we get out and do it,
right.
But that's not just in this race. It's every race. It's absolutely every election.
Man, I remember. So I've always been fascinated with presidential politics. Right. So my degree was in history. I've always been our system. I think is unique and really fascinating to me. And I remember when Bob Dole was running, and I was just going, This is what we got.
I haven't heard that name in forever.
Fall off the back. This, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like, why have an election? Like, let's just give it. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? And I think you're absolutely like. So we also have like this mentality of like a credentialism. You know what I mean? And have you been to this before you can do that or whatever?
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. I'm like, if someone brings to the table new, fresh ideas or experiences or training or skills or whatever it is, they bring that to the table, and it's like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. I don't care.
It's asinine to think that a career politician is going to step in to fix the mess of a career politician.
Without
question. That's the dumbest. When we've said the word insanity probably a number of times on the show right now, but we're doing the same thing over and over and expecting
a different result.
Yeah. Well, they're going to do it this time. Well, they hadn't. Congress hadn't passed a budget. And we're not talking about balancing a budget. Congress hasn't passed a budget since 2000.
Yeah. Yeah.
These CRs were just kicking the can down the road. Just keep kicking it
down the road. Yep. Exactly.
And so when you say that, I remember graduating from college, coming back home and applying for all these jobs. And it's like, you need 5 years experience. How am I going to get experience if nobody hires me?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So here our founding fathers, you brought up term limits.
Yeah.
I think if they knew, we have to keep in mind that our founding fathers were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Right.
Benjamin Franklin was the oldest founding father.
Right. Yeah.
Probably because he was alcohol infused.
I was going to say he was preserved.
Yeah. But these guys weren't thinking they were regular people. They had just overthrown a king, right? They're not thinking like, oh, first and foremost, their life expectancy wasn't as long as ours anyway.
Right.
But they weren't thinking term limits. Why would they need that?
Yeah.
They're going to help out and then they're going to get out of the way.
And go enjoy their golden years versus trying to hold on. And I don't even understand really what it is, what they get out of it at that point.
It could be. I mean, and I couldn't speak on it either. Maybe it's ego, but here's the other thing. Comfort builds complacency.
Oh, yeah.
So you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And you think that maybe you think you're doing good for the community, but you end up being complacent.
Yeah.
And the other challenge that we have, not just with it, in general, and we're a society of convenience right now.
Yeah.
So we think at this point, it's like, man, this is working. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, how long? Well, it's going to help us for 6 months.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to help us for 2 years. Why aren't we thinking for decades beyond?
Exactly right.
So I always use the example of the 1950s drought. There was a statewide drought in Texas that lasted 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that they put in place after that drought is what we have today.
Right.
Whether it be dams, reservoir, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. They had the forethought
to think we're going to have this,
Texas
have hard times again.
Yes.
Right.
They were growing. I think that it was like maybe doubling the pace of growth.
Yeah.
But they ended up doing 7 times projection for what they need water-wise.
Right.
So again, we're at 70 years later.
Yeah. And now there's a challenge.
There's a very large challenge.
Yes.
And it's affecting all of us. Even without the amount of growth that we're having, it was going to hit us anyway, right?
Yeah.
And again, man, maybe this segment will just be called insanity because it's insane that years ago, a decade ago, actually over a decade ago, we had a bad drought here.
Yeah.
Brother, the growth hadn't even hit it. I mean, granted, we were growing.
But it did not
but that explosion had.
Yep.
So we saw it then.
Right.
And we just sat around and we're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe it'll rain in a few years. It'll rain.
Unbelievable.
What are we doing?
Unbelievable.
So that's frustrating.
Yeah. So 2 things come to mind. One, I started speaking because I'm like, hey, we should be prepared for hope for the best, plan for the worst type thing, right? Just have a conscientious approach of, hey, things could go bad in my life, and I ought to be prepared somehow for that, right? But one of my really good friends, and I stole it from him since the moment he said it, and I haven't stopped saying it. He said it really well. He said, being uncomfortable really sucks, and the only thing that sucks more for a man is being comfortable. And it's like, oh wow, yeah, because we've gone away from the idea of let's choose some discomfort. Let's choose some discomfort, whether that's in our finances, whether that's in our physical fitness or whatever it is. Let's choose a little bit of discomfort so that we can be who we're supposed to be, who we're called to be. We can be the country that we're supposed to be. Yep. We can be the men that we're supposed to be. Let's choose a little bit of discomfort so that we can be who we're supposed to be. No. For many, comfort is God. And as long as I'm comfortable, I'm good. I don't care about the rest. I taught at a really affluent high school, and I taught government. And it was funny because it was in West Austin, and it wasn't Austin ISD, but it was in West Austin. And everyone, I would have these kids come in, and they would have these fierce, fiery political beliefs, and I would be like, "All right, raise your hand if you're a Republican. Raise your hand if you're a Democrat." Cool. I'd be like, "Great." And so I would give them a little test. I always give them a little test. I would throw out platforms. I found it online. I would throw out these platforms, and these kids would score themselves. And this happened over and over and over again. But I always have this young lady. She was like, "Oh, I'm a Democrat. Like, I'm such a Democrat." I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's do this deal." She was like, "I was born a Democrat, Mr. Larremore. Like, I'm going to be as far to the left on this thing as you can." I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." And so we do the whole test with the class, and I give the rubric. They score themselves out. And I throw, all right, if you have this many points, this is kind of where you fall based on your beliefs about key platform issues, right? And she was like far right of, she was the most conservative kid in the class. And I was like, "Sophie, what do you think happened?" And she was like, "I don't know." And so her parents came, they scheduled a meeting with me. She was like, and so she was from Colombia. Dad was from Colombia. He's like, you told my daughter she's a Republican. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna like, he has hate in his eyes, right? No, 100%. He was like, and I was like, I didn't tell her anything, sir. I was like, here's what we did. And he was like, thank you. And I was like, no way. So he was like, we had this conversation. He was like, he was very successful. And we had this conversation. He was like, she feels the way that she feels because she has always been comfortable. Her ideas are formed from a place of always having been comfortable. And I was like, we ended up having this great dialogue. I ended up getting to teach his son later. So I knew him for years. And he was like, do the same thing. He was like, I want my boy to understand the same thing, because they adopted other people's challenges because they didn't have any of their own. And so they thought they were really, they were early woke. This was 2010 or whatever.
What's crazy though, this is full circle to the comment you made about New York and Mamdani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
He's a son of a billionaire.
Yeah, right. It's like, what are you talking about?
Life's got to be tough.
It's got to be. Like the struggle's really real, right? I know he's really had a challenge to make ends meet, right? Yeah. And it was enlightening for those kids. But if I think about going back to the situation in Minnesota, ma'am, what about the Somalian situation has you so fired up that you need to go not just watch, peacefully protest, exercise your First Amendment rights? You need to go physically get involved.
Yep.
What is it that you have in common that you feel so strongly one way that you need to go and insert yourself there? And I think what we've done is we've gotten so focused on these outward, quick narratives that just, honestly, I really do believe it's a quick dopamine rush in our brain to get angry and passionate about these just wall-eyed things that have nothing to do with me. And we insert ourselves in a weird way. And then it's because we haven't had struggles. I used to tell kids all the time, I was like, if you really wanted to control America, shut off the AC in Texas.
Yeah.
Just shut off the AC for 6 months and say, hey, if you surrender these liberties, we'll turn the air back on. Deal. Like that's where I think we've progressed as a society. Whatever it is, we're going to take away a little bit of comfort. You can live without it. People did for generations.
Let's get rid of cell phones.
So, right. Something like that. And then, but people would sell their freedom for a little bit of comfort. And I don't know how to combat that, with except at the very, very organic local level.
It starts at home.
Challenge. I agree.
It starts at home, and there's so many broken homes.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I'm a single parent. Like it's tough. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
But you invest that time.
Yep.
You take them to church.
Yeah.
You get them involved in godly organizations.
Yeah.
Or healthy activities.
Yeah.
Extracurriculars.
Yeah.
And then they can be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's our duty though as parents to protect our kids.
Yeah.
So you kind of, wanting to control the circle, if you will, to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
Say, okay, I want my child in this group, and maybe they'll grow because they're like-minded. But we've gotten so far away from biblical values. We've gotten so far away from familiar values, familial values.
Yeah.
He'll have to cut that part out.
Yeah. It's all good. We got you. Yeah. But like the idea of the nuclear family is
we've gotten
outdated.
away from the country, like our national pride. We don't have pride.
Blows my mind.
We do now. I think we're back on track.
I think we're building back towards it.
Hopefully. Yeah, but the build back's going to be slow. And I think that's where even some of us as Republicans get frustrated.
Yep.
There was a couple months ago, I was like, man, what's taking so long?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. It hadn't even been a year.
Right.
We just now hit the year mark.
Right. We just
actually on the 20th. I don't even know what the date is. Yeah. My days are all running together, bro.
Is today the 20th?
In a couple of days, I think.
17th. Yeah. So we're not at a year mark.
We're not even at a year.
Right.
So President Trump has done
Oh my gosh.
years worth of work in 1 year, and his team. He's not doing it alone.
I agree with you. Like,
now
he's made good choices this year.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
We look at that though in a lot of he gets a lot of heat because he's having to do executive orders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wouldn't have to do those if Congress actually enacted something.
Absolutely right.
If they did something other than just sit around.
Right.
So you talk about the Joe Biden presidency. I mean,
Sure.
he didn't know he was there.
Right.
But wide open border. Well, where were our Congress people?
Why
It's
were they
easy
not?
to blame one person.
Right.
So even now you have the left blaming President Trump. I'm not sure what they're blaming him for because he's helping.
Yeah. Right.
But it's where are the people that we elected?
Right.
We have a legislative branch for a reason.
Yep.
So he's passing through all these resolutions. Well, we need to codify them.
Yeah. That's right.
So we have a lot of people who are comfortable.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who are just coasting and they're clapping him along, especially people who haven't supported him,
Yeah.
but they're up for re-election.
Yeah.
So now, well, I stand with President. Dude,
You had never have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Until
everybody's standing with him right now because
That's
you
right.
want to get reelected.
that's it.
Which-
Because his approval rating so high.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I really want to say this, though.
Okay.
Just because somebody running for office has a picture
Mhm.
with President Trump or any other politician for
Yeah.
that matter, that does not mean that person has endorsed that candidate.
That's right.
There will be a specific endorsement.
Yeah.
So there's so much deception in politics
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
But then you get people who maybe they're only surface level. Maybe they don't understand. And there's nothing like that's not their fault. I'm
Yeah.
not taking a shot at individuals for that because you see a picture. But man, growing up here,
Mhm.
if I was in a picture with a woman,
Yeah.
automatically we were dating.
Yeah. Right.
It's like,
Sure.
we can't just take a picture.
Yeah. Right.
So, and then you get into politics and they go, well, that senator has a picture with President Trump. He's been endorsed. No, he
No,
hasn't.
it hasn't. Yeah.
Because if here's what you might not know, and it's okay. I'd like to share it with you.
Yeah.
So that guy has a picture with him. The other guy running is very good friends with him,
Right.
but they don't advertise that. Hence the reason no endorsements come.
Right.
And that's on multiple levels, man. There's so many different situations like that currently in these current races
Yeah.
where that's the case.
Wow.
I don't know how we got onto that.
No,
I
but
think
it's
we're just talking about
when you talk
Yeah.
about the deception in politics, and I think that's important to note for people who aren't really interested in politics and things like that. This primary election is so important because we've been at. I worry with the influx of people that keeping Texas as red as it has been will be a challenge, right? However, we got a lot of people who are like, well, I'll vote in November for whoever is on the right side of the ballot,
Oh my gosh.
and let the rest of the system just fill
Dude,
itself out.
James,
And so,
it's so frustrating. We have so many cowards.
Yeah.
And if you're not involved in politics, I'm not calling you a coward.
right,
I would encourage you to get involved and get educated, and
Sure.
you get involved by attending events.
Yep.
Whether it be whichever party you're connected with, hopefully the one that's more biblically aligned. But
right,
get involved,
Yeah.
go to events. But there's so much people who are involved.
Yeah.
There's so much cowardice, and it drives me crazy.
Mhm.
We have to have courageous churches.
Mm.
We have to have courageous Christians.
yes,
We have to have courageous conservatives.
Yep.
That does not mean that we are better than anybody else.
right,
That means we have a firm foundation. We have we stand on a truth
Yep.
that here's the other thing. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, why
Right.
would you not want that roadmap for your children?
exactly right,
It's a healthy roadmap.
right,
And like you don't have to be, hopefully you are,
right,
but there's so many cowards. It drives me crazy. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's the most frustrating. We'll like, man, you said it. We'll wait till the general.
Yeah.
We don't get involved in primary races.
Right.
Cool. So as a Christian conservative,
Right.
if someone who has never voted
Yep.
before,
Mhm.
you're okay with that person being your voice. It's
Yeah.
somebody who maybe just moved to the area, has no idea the challenges that we face because
Right.
they haven't been here for years or generation or whatever it is, right?
right,
we're going to sit back. If you're, dude, the amount, and maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. I firmly believe that there are people. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that there are people who are probably trying to infiltrate the Republican Party. When you have Christian conservatives who have, it is what it is, man. Like a Christian conservative male who has frozen embryos with his boyfriend because they're, quote, they want to be intended fathers, or maybe they are intended. I don't know how the woke terminology goes.
Right.
And we're going to sit back and be like, hope you don't get through, but we're not going to tell you that. But we're going to say it behind your back, to the point where when we find out, we're going to make sure we hide that.
Yeah.
We've got, there's so much deception. And part of that is because we don't have courage to say, hey, whoever it is, it doesn't. What if there was a tranny that's a Republican?
Right.
Actually, I think that there is. There's some.
I think
I don't know if it. Are you like? Is it an it? I don't really know how that works, man. You can air this.
You're good. That's kind of where we go with it.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
If it was a boy who was trying to become whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
Or was.
Yeah, right.
That person saw negative impact that their feelings, like their mentality, because feelings are facts, had on their body and now their mentality.
Yeah.
And they came to the Republican Party. Here's the other thing, dude. Call me what you want. I welcome to the party.
Yeah.
We could use your help, maybe educating other people.
Exactly right.
So they don't make the same mistake. But I'm probably not going to vote for you if you ran for office.
No, I totally agree. And I think, it's so funny that it's not funny. It's interesting and intriguing to me that you've used the word courage so many times, because of the generation that we're growing up in. That our kids are growing up in.
We're still growing up.
I know, right? Yeah, right. We're getting there. Yeah. I had the conversation with my youngest a couple of times this week, where the phrase "be bold and courageous" is directly stated like 27 times in the Bible.
Yep.
And because he had he was worried that if he was overly assertive and he hurt someone's feelings, he was sinning. And I dug into it. I was like, wait, what do you mean? And literally from the competitive sports field, he's like, well, if I go hard and I hurt their feelings, am I sinning? And I was like, bro, like it blew my mind that he could even pick up on that and let that idea take root. I'm like, absolutely not. Bold and courageous, be bold and courageous, be bold and courageous. Call what's right, call what's wrong. Yes. Understand that throughout your life, you will make mistakes that land you in the wrong side of things, and you will make choices that land you in the wrong side of things. And we all do that. However, doesn't mean it's not wrong. It's still wrong.
Yep.
Just because you've made choices that put you on one side of an issue or another doesn't mean you're right because it feels right. No. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And so we've been sort of working through that. But you're absolutely right. You got to have people who are just willing to say the truth out loud. And we live in this era, like, I mean, it's almost like we're past the cancel culture piece, but we had this, like, people will cancel you if you over one idea or one opinion or whatever. Please,
I could use the rest.
I'm telling you, right? Exactly.
It's
like,
me, man.
golly, it's okay. So now everyone's afraid to say what you just said, like, to run as the Pope said it about Joe Biden, right? When Joe Biden, being as pro-abortion as he was, Pope's like, yeah, I don't think you're a Catholic. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of our fundamental beliefs that you believe exactly opposite of, right? For me to say, we fall into a trap as Christians of saying, well, it's really, I don't want to be God. I don't make the decision of who gets to heaven and who doesn't, and I don't. Right. And I want to.
Well, and your sin isn't better than mine.
Absolutely right.
Mine isn't better than the next person.
And that's what I've explained that to my boys since were here and they've asked about the concept of sin. And there's not one worse than another.
We're all sinners.
We're all sinners across the board.
Not perfection. That's what we're
there you go.
Towards.
And at the same time, to say, so it's I can't believe I'm going to quote this movie on this podcast, but the Princess Bride.
That's a great movie.
I know,
dude.
right?
It's okay to quote that. Yeah.
The guy keeps saying inconceivable,
Yes.
inconceivable, and it's right in front of him.
Yeah.
What's right in front of him is inconceivable, right? And the Inigo Montoya guy goes, I do not think this word means what you think it means, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of a Christian conservative candidate who's living in a homosexual relationship and wanting to propagate that further.
But we could extend that too. We could say, because there's another person that people ask, are you a Christian?
Mhm.
And the answer is, well, I am a Christian, or I believe in Christianity. I don't really know the answer, but I'm also have these beliefs.
Right.
And it's like, dude, no.
Those are contrary things.
Exactly.
Right.
You are either a Christian or you're not. And
That's
if
right.
you're not, man, that's okay. Just
That's okay.
say it.
Just say that.
We might not want you to represent us because we want biblical values.
That's the thing.
But that doesn't mean we don't like you. That doesn't mean we don't want you to come vote our way,
Right.
Be involved. Because, Jesus hung out with sinners.
Absolutely right.
Was it so he could become a sinner?
Uh-huh.
No, it was so hopefully they would come,
They
would see the light and
go,
turn,
oh, wow. Yeah. And that's the thing.
You are who you hang out with.
Oh, absolutely.
So he was letting them hang out
He's
with him.
letting them hang out with him and draw them. But that's the thing is that so I've had so many people struggle with different sins, right? And it was real struggle. And they said, I'm going to struggle. I choose the struggle versus choosing comfort and just saying, hey, this sin for me isn't sin anymore. Right? I've had to walk that walk, right? Where it's either I'm going to struggle with sin, I'm going to wrestle with whatever it is and hopefully get better, right? And over the course of my life pursue sanctification and all of those, theological things. Or I could just say, this is the way God made me, so I'm just going to live it out.
Yep.
I'm good with it.
I'll ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, man,
yeah. Come on.
You
right?
can do it, but maybe change
But try to change the pattern, right? And so I think that's and again, even just saying this, you and me sitting here saying it out loud, I know the people in my life who will watch this and their toes will get squished and they'll be angry at me for a minute, Okay. That's the other thing. I think we've regressed due to progressivism. We've regressed as a society that we're so afraid to make someone angry. We'll just not speak.
Yep.
Like that's not who we were. That's not who we are as a country. We ought to be able to call red and yellow and we ought to be able to say things the way that they are. And if you don't like that, that's okay. We can still get along. We can still interact cordially. But I'm going to say the truth out loud. It's okay to do that. People in my life have often accused me of being a little bit too quick for verbal conflict. I don't seek it out. I just don't shy away from going, oh no, that's wrong. Let's talk. You know what I mean? And I think we need more of
more discussions.
More discussion, and I'm going to firmly hold to my values. Now, I may have opinions about certain circumstances, and those opinions can change. My values they come from a different spot. You know what I mean? And so I want to make sure we hit this. When you were pondering running for office, right? Here we are in Central Texas, right? And so what are the counties what are the counties that you're running to represent?
So the new district,
I was going to say,
newly redrawn
right.
district. Yeah, it's Hamilton, Mills, Coryell, Burnett, Lampasas, Williamson, and Bell.
You passed the test. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
good job.
7 counties. Now, it's funny. So Bell County, there's only 91%.
Yep.
They cut out East Bell County from, I'm going to simplify it, downtown Temple East.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Wilco, there's only 45% of Williamson County.
Yeah.
So the east and west side, they raised up.
Right.
And then Burnett County, there's 85%. So they went everything south of the Colorado
Got it.
is out.
Okay.
Everything north is still in, so there's
still in.
85%. But all the other counties are whole counties.
So you have this, it's remarkably diverse.
It's
district.
perfect.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a challenge.
Yes.
Like it's a huge challenge. Like Williamson County, man, it's like Travis County infected it, and it's just sort of like the blue
is bleeding in.
is bleeding in,
Yep.
right? So you've got some incredibly conservative areas. You've got some areas that have the blue has bled into it. What was it from a value standpoint? And I'm happy to talk issues too, like specific circumstances and things. But what was it from a value standpoint that you were like, you know what? If not me, who?
Yeah, so it wasn't me. It wasn't. Man,
Okay.
I was. I went to. So my son is super active. He's in like every extracurricular activity.
Cool.
So it was. I went to a Wednesday night. Man, I become a different person if I don't go to church.
Yeah.
Once a week.
Yeah.
I become a different person if I don't go to church twice a week. So I go. I'm just trying to, progress, not perfection.
Right.
So I try to go Sunday and Wednesdays. Well, he had something going on Wednesday.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make a long story longer, so hopefully
Cool.
I can shorten it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rushing to church.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad because I'm not really late, but I'm
Right.
not as early as I like to get because I like to sit in a specific spot. So all the crap
Right.
that is not important,
Uh-huh.
I'm mad about. Like, oh, I can't sit where I normally sit.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sitting there in a spot that I don't really like,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though I should just be happy I'm at church.
Yeah.
So there's a guest pastor. He's one of the elders.
Okay.
So he comes out to give the message.
Mhm.
Man, I was stressed to get there. I was rushing. And I feel like I'm a lovable jerk sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
So I just sitting there, and he comes out and just starts talking about the parable of the talents.
Uh-huh.
James, dude,
This is wild.
if I could tell you, I don't even know how to verbalize the amount of a-hole that I was being in my head.
Okay.
Like, I rushed here for this.
Yeah. Right.
I stressed out to get here for this.
Yeah. Right.
The parable hadn't changed. I've heard it my whole life.
Sure.
This is what I stressed out for. I could have been at home relaxing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sitting there like, quit being an a-hole,
Mhm. Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Right.
who'd have thought?
Yeah,
I
right.
just, we're talking about being in church, and I'm saying I was
I
a
get it,
jerk.
yeah.
But he had said something that just clicked.
Mhm.
The parable hadn't changed, bro. My
That's right.
mindset had.
That's right.
He had said something, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're not talking about money.
Yeah.
God used that as an example, but we've got so many different gifts that we've been blessed with.
Yeah.
What am I doing with mine?
Man.
So I started thinking about all the things that I could do. I was living, I was before I decided to run.
Yeah.
I was living my professional dream, probably even my personal dream to an extent.
Yeah.
Where I told you, I'd worked 3 jobs off and on. I didn't want to have to work in my 40s. I
Yeah.
wanted to have the luxury of being able to choose whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah.
Like, my goal out of college, for whatever reason, was to be able to retire at 45.
It's
That
awesome.
didn't mean I could or I would.
You would.
It just means I wanted to be able to. I wanted that was what I was working towards. So I'm sitting there in church trying to just figure out, okay, God, where can I go?
Mhm.
And I'm coming up with all these ideas.
Uh-huh.
I say that won't work. I mean, I
Right.
grew up here, and
Sure.
it was a small town. I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like,
Yeah,
some
right.
of these aren't working. So God speaks in a soft whisper.
Mhm.
He's not going to baby shake you. He's not
Yeah,
going
right.
to talk,
Yeah.
not going to yell at you. So I
Yeah.
just sat there quietly, and I continued to listen to the message, just in awe that guy, not only did his message hit me, but I was kind of looking. You ever do that in church? Like, is this dude, like, is everybody else getting it the way I'm getting
Yeah,
it?
right. Is it speaking right to me?
Or is this for everyone?
Yeah, who
How did he know?
let him know? Yeah, right, exactly.
So, man, I was just sitting there, and it, like, just kind of overcame. You need to run for Congress.
Mhm.
Nobody's been able to unseat this guy.
Yeah.
And I said, I always like to say, I'm a really good Christian,
Mhm.
because I said, nope, I ain't doing that.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So some people get that, and
Yeah.
some people are like, you just said good Christian. You
Yeah,
said
right.
no.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not everybody has our perfect sense of humor. Yeah. So I was sitting there, I was like, there's no way. You're
Yeah,
crazy.
that-
Why on earth would I do that? One,
Right.
who would want to do that?
That's right.
2, like, I'm comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mhm.
living my dream right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Good to go. Nobody's been able to unseat this guy.
Right.
So I just started sitting here thinking, listening to the message, meditating.
Yeah.
So I heard somebody say that it was years ago, and it was so profound. It was very simple. And sometimes the most simple things are the most profound.
Without question.
He said, man, prayer is you talking to God. Meditation is you listening.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and was just being quiet, just be still.
Yep.
And let him talk. And it's very clear a few things. One, God's in control. I won't win this.
Right.
So it's got to be God's will.
Yep.
But other than that, it has to be the community coming together.
Right.
I don't think that there's a better candidate to bring the community together.
Yeah.
So I'm not running as an individual.
Sure.
It might look like that in every aspect of this race, but I'm not, man. I'm running with the community. In my mind, the community's running.
Yeah.
In my mind, when I sit here with you, or if I have a microphone in my hand, speaking to a crowd, whatever it is, I don't speak as a candidate.
Right.
I speak as a voter.
Yeah.
Because when I'm sitting in that chair and I'm looking at everything that's going on in the world, whether it be the deficit, whether it be the wide open border, whether it be Texas's water issue, I get that that's not national, but it's here.
Yeah, right.
Whether it be the economy, with taxes, we're overtaxed, we're underrepresented, we're overgoverned.
Yeah.
Like, man, who can do it? I'm a small business owner. I'm frugal as all get out.
Yeah.
I know how to balance a budget. I know how to work within a budget. I've made payroll.
Yeah.
I can relate to anybody and everybody because of where I grew up.
Right.
Man,
Absolutely.
everything that's happened in my life has led me to the place that I never thought I'd be anyway.
Yeah.
So when you ask about the values, this is God's race.
It's awesome, man.
I'm working. I'm not where I want to be in the race, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
That's awesome.
So, but here's the other thing, James. If I was where I wanted to be in the race, I still wouldn't be as far as I wanted to be. And I don't know if that's a guy thing.
Yeah.
Or if it's just maybe a type 8. I
know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
So it's like,
wherever you were, you'd be like, I'm trying to get there. Yeah.
You made it to the red zone. Yeah, but I'm on the 19. I want to be on the 1.
That's right.
You made it to the 1. Yeah, but I really want to be in the end zone.
That's it.
All right, man. Just be grateful for what you got.
That's it.
And so that's what where we're at.
Dude, that's so refreshing to hear. CJ just had a seizure. If you saw him, it was 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, right? Rip. Last night, we're sitting with my youngest, having these same type of conversations, and we talked through the parable of the talents. And so that's why he was so animated there for a minute. We literally just talked that through, because what Wyatt was saying was he had this idea. He didn't say it this way at all, but he had this idea that he needed to water down who he is so that he didn't make people uncomfortable. He was getting that confused with kindness.
Yes.
And so we talked through the parable of the talents, and we talked through the gifts that God has given him. He gave them specifically to him to use to the fullest. And the 3 examples of the stewards in the parable of the talents, who was God the most fired up was the guy who took risks, the guy who used what he was given to the fullest. There were challenges, there was a risk to that, but man, the reward was amazing. And so I think that being a primary motivation, right? Growing up in this area, but not just in this area, growing up in I would argue the most diverse, Killeen being the most diverse community center in the district, without question, because you've got people coming from all, as you said, people coming from all over the nation, all of the time.
I love it.
By
the way,
it's amazing,
I love Killeen.
right? It's amazing, and some of my best friends are guys that I met in the Army who had unbelievably different paths to the barracks than I did, right? And we had very little in common, maybe nothing, other than we were like there at Fort Benning. The strength that comes from that is awesome, right? So understanding that was a gift, right? God planting you in Killeen, that's a gift, right? There's experiences that come from growing up there in that diverse setting that give you a perspective that many others growing up in this area may not have. And then as we've talked, and you talk about having, early experience with chambers of commerce, right? So I'm like, oh, this guy's been civically minded, maybe forever, right? Like, just God has a way of fine tuning us so that we're able to do the job that he called us to do. And I'm so bad with names. But I heard a senator say it today. He was like, God can do whatever he wants. He can accomplish whatever he wants. But I believe he has certain things that he is choosing not to accomplish, except through individuals, through me, through you, there's a task that he has specifically in mind for me, for you, for my sons, for yours. And he's going to hold off because he wants to use you to accomplish those things. That's profound. And that's and I think people who choose to reject the idea of God are like, well, that's just too big for me to fathom. But man, God fine tunes years. His time is not like ours. He fine tunes things so that when the moment is right, we have all of the talents for the job. And so
and we don't understand the
awesome
path until we're at the finish. Well,
yeah.
I mean, we're not at the finish line yet,
but until
as we progress through.
Yeah.
So I went to, I'm just a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
So I think it was my sophomore year of high school, or maybe the summer before junior year. I had an opportunity to go to Texas Boys State.
Oh, cool.
So they bring in a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
It's a guys only, and you're basically learning about the legislative process.
Right.
I also had the opportunity to be a lifeguard. I was like, wait a second. So my mother, moms know what they're doing. So she was like, it's your choice. You just make the decision you want to make. So in my mind, dude, complete 16-year-old.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, all right, I can get paid to hang out with chicks in bikinis.
100%.
Or
I
can go hang out with a bunch of dudes for like a week and not be able to talk.
Who were super fired up about hanging out with a bunch of dudes. Yeah, right.
So I remember getting home and I was like, hey, Mom, I think I just probably really, and again, when we're kids, I'm not going to be like, I want to hang out with these chicks in bikinis. No,
you're
like,
going to.
Some of the hottest chicks at school,
right.
that I'm going to end up working with.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think it's important that I make money. And
right.
Get this,
yeah.
So I'm trying to spin it.
Yeah.
And of course, in true mother fashion,
mm-hmm.
she was okay. That's your decision. But there were only I don't remember, James. Maybe 2 of us, maybe 3 of us selected out of the entire school. To go.
Gotcha.
And she goes. And you'll always be able. So whatever she said, I was like, dang.
Yep.
So it's like it was that. I don't know whether it was mom guilt or mom logic, whatever it was, maybe a combination.
Mom wisdom.
I ended up mom
right.
wisdom.
Yep.
I ended up going and never thought that I'd use any of it. Had ever been in this position.
Yeah.
Man, running for office wasn't on my bingo card. I've always had people ask.
Yeah.
When are you going to do something? When are you going to do something? And I was like, and when I was in my late 20s, I was interested in doing something.
Okay.
But again, this goes back to mentorship, which, by the way, is biblical.
Absolutely.
So for all these people who are believers and in politics, for them not to mentor someone is so self-serving.
Absolutely.
You're not doing anyway. I'm gonna end up preaching.
It's all good, man.
People need to hear it. Man.
They do.
It's not always about you.
That's right.
There's other people in the world.
It's insane that the idea that any task, whatever the task is, there will be a time. There are certain tasks that maybe I'm the best at. I'm the best person to fulfill that task for a time. But to hold the idea that I'm the best person to fulfill that task until I die, and God willing, I live to be 100, I'll be the best person to fulfill that task when I'm 100. Is literally insane. It's like no. There's
egotistic. I mean, there's just so many terms for it.
Yes, exactly. It's gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
Versus the idea that I can be the best to fill that role for a time. I will learn lessons and skills and I'll gain knowledge that I never would have, and then impart that to someone else so that they can take their skills and knowledge and experiences and add what I've given them and take it a next step. That's I think you were headed towards it earlier, and I completely agree. I think if Thomas Jefferson had ever had an idea, an inkling that someone would want to be in Congress until they're 90,
20, 30, 40 years,
right,
however long. Yeah.
Term limits would have been
in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
Dude,
and it's not about
you.
age, it's
Yep.
about length of time.
Yeah.
Because what did you
And
say? That
sometimes
complacency
it is
happens.
about age.
Sure.
Like your body. There's a good friend of mine. He's a retired command sergeant major, and he was devastated. It is what it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I respect the guy.
Yeah.
He was heartbroken, I should say, that he had to get out of the Army.
Sure.
He had just hit that point.
Yep.
And I remember going to his business. We'd always hang out. Great. He and his wife, great people. And I could tell, I mean, I knew it bothered him. Man,
Sure.
Army, that was his life.
Yeah.
He loved it.
Right.
That was he loved serving. He loved being part of the camaraderie. But I remember him telling me, he goes, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I've done this for, it may have been 30 years.
Sure.
He goes, this is all I've ever known.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get out. But I know my body cannot do what these 18 and 20-year-olds are doing.
Without
He goes,
question.
I have all the knowledge, but I'll end up, we go to a wartime situation, I'm going to end up hurting them.
That's right.
Because I won't be able to do what they can do.
That's right.
Because I can teach them. And I think that's where we really need to be. Here's the thing, dude. Your legacy dies with you.
Yeah.
Unless you impart that knowledge
Unless
and
you give
wisdom
it to
on
somebody
somebody else.
Absolutely.
But so many people are trying to be the Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Like we want our name to live on. Brother, your name's dying with you.
That's it.
Because you held on to everything.
That's exactly right, man. And it's a perfect analogy. Your friend is in a situation, and it's an easier one because of the physical aspects of the job, right? And my friends who were in the military, right? I'm 46. You know, my buddies are all similar age, and you know, you won't convince me that someone could come to my house and I couldn't defend my house, right? But I've set everything up so that a 47-year-old broke down, torn all my stuff, like I'm injured, you know, from my ears down. I've set it up to be able to defend my house.
Yeah.
If I had to show up and defend your house or a post, I'm not the most qualified guy to do that. I have some knowledge that would help me, but I'm not the most qualified guy to do that anymore.
Physically,
right?
Yeah.
Physically, I'm not the most qualified guy to do that. That extrapolates across the spectrum. That translates across the spectrum of societal issues, of politics. I do think we tend to not to value the elderly as we used to, and the way that we should. I do feel like that people hit a certain age where they've been made in America to feel like they have nothing left to contribute, so they're sort of shushed.
Yes.
They're sort of put on the corner, and we versus I need to learn whatever I can still learn from them and carry it forward. Yep. I think that's what we've done as a society, and so part of maybe what it is that motivates people to hold on to what they have for so long is the idea of wanting to stay relevant in their own life, versus if we could be humble enough to ask questions and understand. Like my mom is 81, and I understand when I ask her questions that she may not have all of the perspective that I have in 2026, doesn't have the experiences, in the workforce or whatever in the last couple decades. So I understand that. Can I also know the stuff that she's going to say? There's a ton of wisdom in it, and be gracious enough to have a meaningful conversation, right? Not go, oh, that would have worked in the 80s, but and I feel like that's what has been encouraged in our society. I mean, if you think about it, in so many spectrums. Look at the people who are celebrities bug the dog out of me, right? It's just it blows my mind. I'm like, I told my kids this the other day too. Like I'm all for paying people what they're worth. I'm all for actors and actresses and musicians be millionaires, make a bunch of money because you entertain us. I pay you. Oh, this is gonna get me in trouble. To be the dancing monkey, entertain us. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
The idea that, but so to be able to entertain us, they change their face, they change their body, they change everything so that they can look young. Why? Man, my wrinkles, the gray in my beard is a badge of honor. I earned it.
Yeah.
I don't have to stand. I don't have to fulfill the 20-year-old guy's role. I can fulfill the 50-year-old guy's role. And I think we just hang on to, cling to the only role that matters is the role from 20 to 30. And it blows my mind. I think it's really to our detriment. You know, my son brought it up the other day, like 22-year-old actresses are having full body reconstructive surgery, like plastic surgery, so that they can stay looking 20. And I'm like, why do we value that so much? It's a sad state.
We're in an interesting time.
Man, it's crazy. You know, when I think about, I believe in this country, we used to value our elders and understand that roles change over time.
A healthy family is 3 generations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
it's a great way to talk about biblical values. Yeah.
So there's just something that grandparents add.
Yeah.
That we know our parents don't know anything growing up, right?
Yeah,
We're
right.
growing up, like, what do you know?
Yeah, right.
You're a parent.
It's
like,
a whole different. Yeah,
Mom.
My experience is completely different.
Yeah.
Than yours. Yeah,
so,
right.
but the grandparents always have a way, because they're not mom or dad.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just this way to that third generation is so healthy.
Yeah.
And it's so needed.
Yep.
And man, we're at such a unique time, and we right now we have an opportunity to bring in some of those old school values with new age ideas.
Yeah.
And not just with the CD31 election,
sure,
but with a lot of elections, dude. We have that possibility.
I agree. Yeah.
And we really need to take up the torch on that and not drop the ball. And I don't know if at some point people were like, oh, I mean, because our vote's our voice.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're going to win every time.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think we've gotten, though, my vote doesn't matter.
Oh.
Like, I'm a Republican and this is a Republican stronghold, so I don't need to vote. That Republican's going to win.
Yeah.
That's not the truth. I'm a Democrat. That Republican's going to win because it's a Republican stronghold. We've seen that that's not the truth.
Absolutely.
The Democrats have taken seats.
Absolutely.
When people didn't expect it, and vice versa.
Right.
So we really have to, man, and again, I think it's a generational thing. And I don't know if it just wasn't passed down, or maybe there was a break somewhere.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because it's interesting to me, because you mentioned the stolen election in 2020, right?
Yeah.
I completely agree. And even the guy I mentioned earlier, the backward thinking, bluest guy I've ever met in my life, you get a couple of Guinnesses in him and he'll cop to it. Like the evidence is there, right? So I think that disillusioned a lot of people. I think it obviously, as it should have, shook people's trust in the process. There weren't enough people protecting the process on a nationwide scale that was allowed to happen. So how do you combat that? Like when you're grassroots level, you're trying to motivate people to get out and vote. I think there's a decent chunk, a chunk that could make a difference one way or the other of people going, man, it doesn't matter because it's corrupt. It doesn't matter. My vote doesn't matter, not because it's a Republican stronghold or a Democrat stronghold or whatever. My vote doesn't matter because the system's corrupt. So how do you combat that?
There were so many factors in that.
Sure.
One, you didn't have to present an ID in certain states.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I mean, you had illegals going in because they get a free paycheck, bro. I mean, it's not
Yep.
it infuriates me that I pay the taxes I pay for that crap for my money to go to crap.
Yep.
When I could take my son on vacation and stimulate the economy, or
right.
we could just, we could bond, like do something, right? Like I could use that money, maybe put it in his college fund. Maybe there's other uses for that.
Right.
Other than somebody who doesn't want to work, came over here, is getting free healthcare, free. It's insane. Anyway, let me answer your question. So part of that was no IDs were required.
Yeah.
The other part was the mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
So, and we know, I'm sure there were a lot of dead people who sent theirs in.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other part is just showing the importance and trying to get people out to say, no, you can make a difference. And really there are elections where it's proven. There are elections locally within, let's just say, a 60-mile radius where people have won the election by less than 10 votes.
Yes.
So there are certain areas where if you don't get more than 50% of the vote, like certain cities, then it goes into a runoff. There are other cities where whoever gets the most votes, doesn't matter if you get over 50% or not, you win. And when you see examples like that, it's hard to say my vote, which is my voice, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. I think, and I've been guilty of it. I think people have copped out. Now I've never not voted, right? I've always voted. But I do think in my head, there were times I was like, man, as I voted, I don't know that I trust the process enough, right? Not enough. I don't know that I trust the process. I'm going to go vote because I'm going to say that I voted, but I don't know that I trust the process enough. And I know that that's a recent development. I always
do you think that stems from electronic ballots rather than mail-in? Or, sorry, not mail-in. Paper. Thank you.
For me, not as much. For me, most of my life, I've voted electronically, right? And most of my life, I've trusted the process. What I think so my example is again, I loved presidential politics, and Bill Clinton won with less than 50% of the vote solely because of Ross Perot, right? HW is running against Bill Clinton. Ross Perot, the tech guy, throws his name in the hat, I think just so he can say he did. You know what I mean? I firmly believe he knew he could never win the election. If the system was super corrupt all the way back then, HW wins that election. But the reason Bill Clinton ever got into the presidential office is because people voted for Ross Perot. And so I'm like, it split the vote. Yeah. He split the Republican vote. And so Clinton wins with not 50% of the vote, but he's the most of the three. And so he's into office. And so I served in the military under Bill Clinton, who every time they found a new stain on Monica Lewinsky's dress, he'd send 10,000 guys to Bosnia. Right. So I'm not a fan. Right. But I trust that election was logical. Right. I trust that election was valid. That was the truth, man. It was a racket. I mean, it was like literally to flip the news cycle. They would find something else out about his activities in the Oval Office or whatever, and the next day there would be a mass deployment. And not that what was done in Bosnia wasn't valid. The timing was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I trust the election, right? And so then you fast forward, and I'm like, man, they legit stole a presidential eletion.
They tried to in 24 too.
Agreed.
So
that's the thing.
Had he not had his legal team, there's no and demanding that it be done that night.
Mm-hmm.
They're also, and I don't remember the number off the top of my head, the number of popular. Mm-hmm. Let me just say the number of total votes. Was substantially less in 2024,
right,
than it was in 2020.
Yeah,
and it's like where did all those
votes
go?
Come from? Yeah, right. Yeah, like, exactly right.
It's always interesting, man. Every now and again I'll drive by a cemetery, and I'm tempted to just like if I was a Democrat, I could block walk here. You know, like it's just not many people would find that funny.
Oh,
So,
dude,
you know, I don't post it.
But it is funny.
Yeah, and be part of the thing.
But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, churches, the churches are failing at getting involved in. Oh, churches aren't supposed to be in politics. It's always funny when you hear the separation of church and state.
Right. Obviously, a phrase that appears nowhere in the Constitution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that phrase came about to keep the government out of the church,
right?
Not the church out of the government.
Without question.
Like I try to say it slow so people maybe it would resonate with some people.
It blows my
and just
mind.
sink in. Here's the cool thing though, because I think you were saying a lot of the churches probably don't.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you. I mean,
I think a lot of churches choose not to speak out on remarkably impactful issues to items that are firmly driven by faith values, and so they choose not to speak out in the fear of losing a few dollars in the bucket as it's passed, right? And while I think, sure, if I stand from the pulpit and I say this is right and this is wrong, there will be people who are offended, and some may go and some may come or whatever. The net gain of that is the truth doesn't return void. The net gain it's a net gain, right? And I think churches
it has a negative impact, man. As you're rotting from my philosophy in business is not every dollar is a good dollar.
Wow, yeah.
Because if it makes if somebody's uncomfortable, whatever it is. But here's the other cool thing about taking a stand, a righteous stand.
Yeah.
Look at Chick-fil-A. Not only are they closed on Sunday,
right?
I mean, it's Christian chicken, so they're going to be successful anyway.
Right. Yeah, right. God's chicken.
But they took a stand on certain political issues.
Yep.
And their business boomed.
Yep.
You look at people like even Hobby Lobby, again, closed on Sundays.
Yep.
I gave my son an example. We were sitting in church, and the church I attend, Vintage Church in Harker Heights, is known to be, quote, very political.
Oh, okay.
But they are very passionate, as they should be, because their job, the pastor's job, is to teach us about the Bible and about Jesus and work our way to being saved so we can get into heaven, right? It's about our salvation. But they get this rap of being too political. So we were sitting there in church one day, and I talked to my son. I said, you got to look around real quick. This place is busting at the seams.
Right.
He's saying things that not everybody likes.
Yep.
He's saying things that people will criticize.
Yeah.
But he's taking a stand, and it's a stand on biblical truth, and we are growing. The church is growing.
Yep.
These businesses that do that, they're growing.
Yep.
So you can be fearful. You could be a coward.
That's it.
Or you can be courageous.
That's it.
And we're not, oh, you've got to be a Republican. Here's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
Now, where does it align?
Yeah.
It just happens to align with the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that the Republican platform and the Democrat platform were switched. So, okay, we're all Democrats because now the Democrats don't believe in abortion.
Right.
So we switch platforms, right?
Yep.
The church would be preaching the Bible.
Yep.
And now the Bible would be aligning with the Democrat platform.
Absolutely.
So it's not they're mean. They hate Democrat. No.
Yeah.
We're teaching the Bible.
Right.
And here's what the Bible says, and here's how it aligns politically.
Yep.
And it just so happens it's the Republican Party.
Absolutely right. And I think it's so funny to me the people who I get people who will reach out to me and say, I don't know how you call yourself a Christian and you believe in X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
If God's a God of love, why would he kick people out of the country? Or why would he God wouldn't close the borders and all of these. And I was like,
my pastor says this the best. I lock my doors at night, not because I hate the people who are out of my house, because I love the people who are in
that's
in
exactly
my house.
right, man.
And the Bible was a Bible of borders and
absolutely.
This go ahead. Sorry. Dude.
No, you're hitting it right on the head. God describes the walls around whether it's Jerusalem, whether it's heaven. He literally gives the dimensions of the walls we should build.
Yeah.
And so the idea of everybody can come without checks, without some sort of due diligence, to say that that's biblical. Oh, everybody can come. Okay. I understand where you're getting at, but everybody can come when they adopt the values, when they adopt the principles that the Bible lays out, right?
And you should come and just assimilate.
Right.
Like this Sharia law,
Oh my gosh.
we're
Calls to prayer in major metropolises,
Man.
5 calls to prayer a day. Like,
this is not well, here's the we'll go back to the word insane. The most insane part is the for lack of a better term, grooming
Mhm.
and the dysfunction of America it started in education
without question.
decades ago.
Yep.
So it was preconceived that, okay, if we can infiltrate the schools, if we can indoctrinate the kids, and it's going to take time
Mhm.
because they were patient.
Yeah.
They weren't part of that. And now what we're doing is now we're having to rebalance that
Right.
and hopefully educate children on constitutional truth. Do you remember learning about the Constitution growing up in school? I don't.
No, not
We learned the
Bill of Rights.
preamble.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to recite. I remember having to recite the preamble, and I remember I got quizzed over the first 10 amendments.
Yep.
Right. But beyond that, no. And I think you're absolutely right. It was an intentional, patient, strategic watering down of what America was, like what fundamentally the forefathers intended to create. The reason they intended to create it was because they had experienced the other things that were out there.
Can't know where you're going till you know where you've been, bro.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want that. We don't want that. We have this land. Let's build something new and better based off of our experiences and the wisdom that we've gained from our own experiences and that has been imparted to us from our mentors. And let's build something new and better and great. And I think what happened is you hit it right on the head. And it was done intentionally inside the public school system to twist what was intended for America to be. I don't think ever the founding fathers wanted us to question the purpose that God had a plan for America for the time that he did.
Leviticus and Deuteronomy to help with,
I know.
with the Constitution.
Right.
You know,
And it's like the idea that they wanted the church out of the government is truly asinine. I mean, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, just read what they said. That's what they said they were trying to create. Okay, great. If you disagree, awesome. There's a process for you to enact change.
Yep.
But don't disagree by saying, no, that's not true. That's a lazy but people will buy it, man. If it feels good, they'll, yeah, that's right.
When we don't research, it's all, again, we're back to surface level.
Yeah.
That it's, man, there's depth to whether it be the Constitution, there's depth to everything we're doing.
Yeah.
So even the indoctrination of schools and them, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is, and it's where we, whether you want to say we as a party failed, we continued to say, we don't need to do anything because things are good.
Right.
We just need to keep electing the same people because things are good.
Big.
And
That's
we like
big.
them and they're our friend.
Yep.
And man, like they're healthy. There's a healthy rotation, if you will. There has to be. Change can be good.
Right. So I would say, what do you think? We've talked a lot about it, kind of in circumspect. Well, let me ask you this way: if you were to get elected, right? What would be your top list of priorities? Right? What would be the things you either want to preserve or would want to see changed that you would work for, that you think make the biggest impact?
Yeah, well, we need to go back to the Constitution and being based off of that, right?
Sure.
Like letting that be our rule of law. But what really got me, and one of the reasons that I said, okay, maybe you are the guy.
Mhm.
You are the guy that needs to do this.
Yeah.
Is the deficit. It's so massive, man. In 2003, I think it was 0203.
Yeah.
We were just shy of $7 trillion.
Right.
And we're at over 38 trillion now.
Right.
So my goal, my hope,
Mhm.
the one thing I'd like to prioritize is stopping the frivolous spending. If you don't got it, don't spend it.
Sure.
Like we live that way in our private lives.
Right.
Why isn't the government living that way?
Sure, that makes
So we have to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
That's not a we should, we want to. No, we have to. Like where else are we going to go?
Right.
So that's my big thing.
I'm down with
We
that.
need to codify these executive orders,
Yeah.
specifically the one with the border.
Yep.
So I don't care. We're a country based off of immigrants, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
there are a lot of people that say that. If you want to come here, come here. Do it the right way.
Yep.
Assimilate.
Mhm.
We're not forcing you to pray to our God,
Not at all.
but you're not going to force your Islamic rule on us,
Right.
your Sharia law. We
Yeah.
have a constitution for a reason.
Yeah.
If you don't want that, then don't come here.
Yeah.
And if you get here and you don't like what we have to offer, get out.
That's right.
Like you have an opportunity to leave.
Right.
And if you're an American and you've been here for generations upon generations and you don't like it, you're free to go also.
That's it.
Nobody's
it.
keeping you here.
Right.
Move. I wouldn't mind. I mean, there are times I'm like, man, maybe Costa Rica would be nice. It's
Yeah,
a lot
right.
cheaper.
100%.
There's a beach there I'd like to. You
Yeah,
know?
right. No, I'm
And
with
it's
you.
not because I'm angry. I just want to relax.
It's just like cool. Yeah,
But,
right.
man, if you don't like it here, get on out.
So, man, I'm so glad you said that and said it as directly as you did. It blows my mind. Insanity. Man, we're gonna have to title this insane because it's insane to me that
How
people.
many times have we said that?
I know, over and over
CJ
again.
needs to start counting these. We need to have a
right?
counter on the screen.
Right, I'm with you. So if you think about it, why would I risk my life, the lives of my family, break laws, engage on a perilous journey? However, I would to go to another country only to fight as hard as I can to make that other country the country I just left.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yep.
Now I will say, I do think in other areas, us being on the southern border, it's like why? And I've talked to so many throughout my professional career of people who came to the United States the right way and went through the immigration process, and they're the most fired up at people who circumvent that process. They're
Part
like,
of that's
hold on.
probably, James, and you'll be able to touch on it because you know all these people. Part of that's probably because the process they went through took forever.
Absolutely.
And there was just a bunch of BS.
Right.
That there needs to be a better process.
Totally agree with that. And they're like, I checked all the boxes. I did all of the things so that I could have the benefits of being here. I love America, right? Versus folks who are coming here and saying, I just want this to be an extension of where I came from, but I just want to benefit economically. The caveat I'll say to that, and why I think the border is so important, is I think we are seeing it now in Minnesota. We're seeing it now in New York, where I do believe illegal immigration has been used as a tool, not because people wanted to come here and benefit from what America was. They've wanted to come here and topple it.
Yeah, it's a destruction from within.
Absolutely
It's
right.
a domestic terrorism.
Exactly right.
If you look at, man, Texas is a stronghold.
Mhm.
So if they take Texas, you got to think, dude, we're the 7th largest economy in the world.
In the world. Yep.
Not the U.S. Texas
yep.
is the 7th largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
If they take Texas, one, we just have a mentality. Dude, Sam Houston wrote about it in books in the 1800s about the mentality of Texans.
Right.
We have a pride. It hadn't left, man.
Not at all.
We're like, I always tell people, we're the greatest country in the nation.
That's it.
I used to say we're the greatest country in the world, and then people started getting offended. And I was like, we still kind of are, but whatever. We'll let your feelings take this one.
Yeah,
right. But man, if Texas falls, the U.S. I'd venture to say is quickly behind.
I don't disagree with you, and I've spoken on this podcast, but more than that, like in the people I interact with, like one of the big things I encourage folks to do is like have a year's supply worth of food for you and your family, right? In the hopes that, like, obviously, I hope that all the food that I have stored up all goes to waste, right? I hope I have not that it goes to waste. I
But
hope I
you
have to
never have to
cycle
be
it,
in that
that I
position.
never have to be
Yeah.
in that position, right? But I think you're absolutely right. If Texas were to succumb to we'll stay politically correct and just say a left.
Could you say domestic foreign terrorism? Like,
Right.
how do you say, like, they're foreigners that have
infiltrated?
Right. So are they still foreign, or are they now domestic?
If you think about
combination?
it's absolutely
It's a
right.
hyphenated name.
That's what it is, yeah. And if you think about it from a Cold War standpoint, the CIA worked very, very hard in trying to defeat the Soviet Union in infiltrating people into areas controlled by communist governments and influence them towards democracy. Massive oversimplification, but it gets the point across. These guys have achieved that in such a huge scale. They've literally infiltrated. They came here illegally. Now we let them, but they came here illegally.
Dude, wide open border.
It's the definition of infiltration, and then have set up shop, actively working against the benefit of America. That's warfare. Oh gosh, like, people are going to be like, "Oh, he's an extremist now," but it's true. Like, that's if not warfare, it's actively aggressive.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think I'm glad you said that as plainly as you did, because again, I don't.
We need to have these conversations, and my hope is one day people on the left and you know, and it is what it is. I mean, it sucks to have to be like left and right, and
Yeah, right.
Republican and
Yeah,
Democrat,
right.
like, but it is what it is, man. There's a very clear divide.
Yeah.
And my hope is at some point those people will value their children and their children's future more so than I need something to stand on because I don't have anything. I don't feel
Yeah.
important enough. So
Yeah.
I need an issue to stand on so I feel more important. It's kind of
Bro.
like, dude, you know,
Yeah.
have you ever been to a restaurant and there's a table and they're being a jerk to the server?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, they don't have any control in their life, so they just want to control this one situation.
Yep.
And whether that be they lack financial control because they're struggling financially,
Yeah.
so they're out to eat. And nobody's saying you shouldn't get what you want at
Right.
a restaurant. Like, we
Yeah,
get it,
right.
but don't be a jerk.
Don't you
Like,
right? That
Be
person's
kind
be
as
kind.
much as you can. And we're human.
Yep.
Like, we're human. I've been there before, maybe not with a waitress, but you know,
Yeah.
I've been there with people. Like,
I know what you mean.
I'm
Yeah.
short, and it's like, okay, and I'll have to go back and apologize. And
Yeah.
but my hope is that those people who are taking a stand, and it doesn't make sense. The stand doesn't make sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Take a stand for your children and for their future, and take, like, what are we doing? What are we leaving behind for them?
Man. So I think you're absolutely right. And this is the first time I think I've ever been able to articulate this.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
messing.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. So the divide between left and right, between the American populace, I want nothing more than to see it come together. However, the lie is the way for us to come together is for us to compromise our values.
Now, when you say us, you're talking about Republicans.
Yes,
the Christian
the Christian
conservatives
the
yes.
Christian values. The way for us, the only way
Yes.
for us to come together is for Christian conservative.
We leave it behind and we come to them.
compromise our values so that we can move to the middle. That is a lie. As we've proven it. As we've seen political leaders compromise their Christian conservative values in an effort to come to the middle, the divide has only gotten bigger. Versus, as you spoke about with your church, those who will say, no, I want the best for you, whoever you are, Somalian immigrants who came here with the worst of intentions possibly, right? I want good
Just
for
to
you.
open a daycare.
That doesn't exist, right? I want you to see the light and turn towards it. And if you do that, your literal outcomes will improve. I want the best for you. So because in that I want the best for you, in that I care about fellow man, I'm not going to compromise my Christian values. And I'm going to speak truth with love, but I'm not going to change the truth.
So the Bible hasn't changed, right? And then I know we talked about a tranny that said, you know what, I made a mistake.
Right.
That mistake was based off of feelings.
Yep.
So what you're saying is, and it's right, like let's compromise. What? Y'all give up everything and then come join us. That's not compromise.
That's not compromise.
Dude. So you want us to compromise truth, get rid of truth, to match your feelings, and we're not going to do it.
Right.
I'd love to know. I'd really want to know at what point it became un-American to care about America.
Yeah.
Like at what point did we as citizens decide that we grew up in such a shithole that we hate America now.
Right.
Like none of us did. We grew up in the greatest country in the world.
Yep.
Everything that we have, everything that we are, like it built us, right? Like Killeen, I told you I love Killeen. It was that and Harker Heights. I mean, it was the same.
Yeah.
That those were the villages that raised me.
Yep.
That would be me getting mad at the cities for doing something that's good for the city, which in turn is good for the residents.
Right.
And I'm up in arms because you can't look out for us.
That's it. Well,
it's just mind-boggling, bro.
I think it comes from this. Everyone has the right to determine what's true for themselves. So what I mean by that is
perfect.
Is we had this idea that so I knew when I was a little kid that I remember sitting as I was learning about Christ and Christianity and all these things, like, what did I do to deserve the blessing of being born in the greatest civilization that has ever existed? I knew America was the greatest civilization that had ever existed. It wasn't arrogant and egotistical of me to say that. I was like, whoa, I remember so many times growing up going, man, I could have been born into such different circumstances. And I was blessed to be born. It was okay to say America is exceptional.
Yeah.
It was okay to say that.
We're the greatest country in the world.
Greatest country in the world, and we're the greatest country that's ever existed.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I can very quickly and easily win a debate with anyone who wants to say otherwise. That's not arrogant or egotistical. And what we've done is we've bought in as progressives, let's say, have bought into this lie that says, oh, if you say America is exceptional, if you say America is the greatest country that's ever existed, you're just being arrogant and exclusivistic and all of this other garbage. It's not that at all. It's saying there was a purpose for America, and I'm sorry, I believe in the shining city on a hill.
Yeah.
Like there was a purpose for America, and we bought in. Like it was that, and we can use that, the blessing that America has been, to bless the rest of the world.
You said it. Here's the thing. If you care so much about these immigrants who are coming in, these illegal aliens, why would you not want to keep your sphere of the world great?
Right.
So they could experience what you did growing up.
Exactly right.
Why are we going back and we're conforming, we're giving up our values, we're giving up all of our goodness, if you will, to make. They came here. You said it, bro. They risked their lives, the lives of their children, to come here to give those children an opportunity
that they didn't have where they were.
So for all those leftists, for all those woke people who are sitting here saying our feelings are facts, the American dream is unhealthy, if you really cared about these people that you're, quote, fighting for, you would want to build a stronger America so they could experience it.
Right.
But again, insanity.
Yes. There's no question. And when so here comes the nerd in me, but the Cold War was basically a war on the idea of the policy of containment. We're going to contain communism, right? Because at its root, communism. Now, this is a dangerous. You get people who lack perspective and understanding will attack me for this, but communism's evil. Now the ideas of sharing and here's what I believe. I'm not a fan of welfare because I think this church should fill that role.
Amen, bro. Say it again.
I'm not a fan like the entitlements that need to go away for us to balance the budget, for us to chip away at the deficit. These entitlements have to go away. Not saying the need isn't there, saying the need isn't the government's. It's not the responsibility of the government to fill the need.
It's not the role of the government.
It's not the role of the government to fill the need. It's the role of the church, and not just the buildings and the institutions that are spotted around the church, right? We are the church. Are the church. Yeah. So it's our job to take care of our fellow man. I believe that. People would say, well, then you're a communist. No, I'm not. It's not the government's job to do that. And the idea that it's the government's job has always led to remarkably, profoundly evil outcomes. And so when the Cold War containing communism, you have a hard time convincing me that was a bad idea.
Yep.
Now did we perpetrate that war well? No. Could we have done it and won? Yes. But it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so where I think really the church has to step up is we, the church, individual members of the church, have to step up in looking out for our communities, the local communities and things like that, so that the government has to take a step back from that role.
Yeah.
But the church has to step up in that role.
We need a smaller government.
Absolutely.
We need, more liberty, less government.
Yes.
We need free markets.
Yep.
We need, we're being overgoverned. We're being the amount of legislation is insane.
Yeah.
And we keep going back, dude. Yeah, we found the title. I don't know how you title your shows, but
this one's going to be titled Insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to wrap it up, like I think it was Ronald Reagan who said the most dangerous 9 words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Yep. Agreed. Like, I agree with that. Like, no.
My goal is to promote small government.
Yeah.
So I probably didn't say this at the beginning, but for those who are listening, watching, I'm running for U.S. Congress, Texas's 31st district seat on the Republican ticket.
Yeah. Well, man, I so grateful for you coming and spending this time.
Thank you.
Not only because being on the podcast, but man, it's really affirming to me to hear someone who is in the public light, who is running for a national office, who will say things as plainly and as courageously as you have here tonight, and as I've seen you do in the past.
Crazily or
courageously?
I'm messing with you, James. Yeah.
But honestly, man, it's so refreshing, and so thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, brother.
And obviously, I am happy to help however we can. But my hope is that the people who will see this will get a clear picture of who you are and the message that you represent, because I know the people that I interact with, man, this is going to resonate with them dramatically. So I really appreciate you coming and taking the time.
Thanks, brother.
And dude,
thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
it's been great.
We at my house will be praying.
Please, yes,
for the outcome. I mean,
God's will, dude. We'll. Here's the thing, though. We're gonna win if everybody get out and vote. Now, if all we say is we're gonna win, we're gonna lose.
We're gonna lose.
But if everybody will get out and vote, if everybody will tell a neighbor, a stranger, a church man, whoever it is, somebody at the grocery, it doesn't matter. If you'll just spread the word, man, it'll help.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So thank you, brother. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, James.
All right.